Hello, welcome to Daily Current Affairs by Ekam IAS. Today is 9th of February 2019 and the topic here we are going to deal is Cutlass Express 2019, International Labour Organization, Conservation of Migratory Species of the Wild Animals, Voter Verification and Information Program, C-Vigil app and PWD mobile application, then the map aided program and the previous year question revision series. Moving to the first topic, that's the Cutlass Express 2019. I'll tell you why is it a news because INS Trikant, it participated in the latest edition, that's the 8th edition of the Cutlass Express 2019. It is basically an annual multinational maritime express exercise, that is the Cutlass Express. It is carried out this year in the vicinity of Djibouti, Mozambique and Seychelles. And it is a joint participation of the maritime forces from East Africa, West Indian Ocean countries, Europe, US and other international organizations all come together to do this Cutlass Express 2019 exercise, that the multinational maritime exercise. Okay, and this thing, it is an exercise, it's designed to access and improve the combined maritime force, that's a law enforcement capacity, also promoting the national and the regional maritime security in East Africa region, because East Africa region is pretty disturbed region. So this can help in maintaining the security and the enforcement, law enforcement in the East Africa region. So this thing is sponsored by US. United States and Africa Command, that is AFRICOM, and the US naval forces together conducts this in Africa. So this time it is in Djibouti, Mozambique and also Seychelles. Okay, and the participating nations, they will come together, they'll test their ability, how far they can avoid or combat this trafficking, piracy in oceans, then illegal fishing. Also they also train in search and rescue operations as well. Okay, and the participating countries are very important because that are all the countries in the Indian Ocean. So it is very important. Please make a note of it. It's Canada, Comoros, Djibouti, then France, India, Kenya, Madagascar, Mauritius, Mozambique, then Portugal, Seychelles, Somalia, Tanzania, Netherlands and US. These are all the countries that are participating. India is participating in it with INS Trikant. Don't forget it. What is the takeaway of India is that the exercise is aimed to improve the law enforcement capacity, also the regional security, which is very important for India because in Western Indian Ocean region there is a lot of disturbance, so the security is at risk. So India has an interest in whatever it comes with security. So India has an interest in this exercise. Okay, so that's all you have to remember, guys, in Cutlass Express 2019. Who is sponsoring it and who is the main stakeholder in it, which all countries are participating, where it is happening. That is all you have to know about Cutlass Express. Okay. Coming to the next topic, that is the International Labour Organization. This organization is not a new organization for you guys, but I'll tell you why is it in news, because it is the centenary of International Labour Organization. It has been formed in 1919, so it's been 100 years. So the Labour Ministry, Indian Labour Ministry is inaugurating the centenary celebrations in India. So that is why it is in news. India is one of the founding member of International Labour Organization, and India has been playing a very important role all over the time in International Labour Organization. So it has made almost 189 agreements, and the 47 among that agreement is signed by India. It's a very big taking because 47 out of 189 ILO conventions are being signed by India, means India has a major role in ILO. Okay, and recently it has been signing a convention about the child labor as well. Okay, and about International Labour Organization, I already told you it is formed in 1919 and by the Versailles Peace Treaty that has been signed in 1919 by the ending of the First World War. and it is the first United Nations specialized agency. So, United Nations have many specialized agency. What is a specialized agency? That is made for some special purpose, which deals only with the purpose, nothing else. So, that is a specialized agency. So, after the League of Nations, ILO, it becomes the first specialized agency of UN. Okay, it deals with the world of work. Whatever the things coming under the work, the labor is dealt by International Labor Organization. So, it's a specialized agency. And it compiles about the labor standards, it promote rights of the people at work, and it encourages decent employment opportunities, also the social protection, maternity benefits, and everything work related everything. And it is the first agency, or the only agency which has a tripartite governing structure. Tripartite governing structures, three parties. Who are they? The governments, the employees, and the workers. So, this is the only agency which is having this tripartite governing structures. It have all the governments of the countries. It has 187 member countries, by the way. All the governments of this 187 countries plus the employers plus the workers, they are the governing structure of International Labor Organization. And the secretariat, the headquarters is in Geneva in Switzerland, and they have a conference called as International Labor Conference, which meet every year. They take the decisions, or they code the standard, what all things have to be followed, and all these work plan is being decided by this International Labor Conference, which is happening every year. Okay, and the governing body is the Executive Council of ILO. And here I want you guys to do some homework. I want you to collect the report and indices given out by ILO, and please comment it on the comment section. Okay. So, regarding International Labor Organization, I have already told you why is it in news. You have to know where the headquarters is, what is its function, when it was formed, under what circumstance it was formed, what is the current relevance of the organization, and what is the latest ratification of India in the organization, which convention it has ratified. That's all you have to know. By end of this thing, you will be knowing that. Okay. And the next topic here is the conservation of migratory species of the wild animals. That's a CMS convention. It is in news because India is hosting the 13th COP. COP is a conference of parties. Conference of parties is a decision-making body of CMS. So, India is hosting the 13th COP in Gujarat. That is why it is in news. This CMS is an international convention. It deals with conservation of terrestrial, marine, and avian migratory species. So, everything about the migratory species they are conserving. So, they are doing the sustainable use of migratory animals and their habitat, and they are creating a foundation, an international foundation for protecting all the migratory range of the species. What is a migratory range? Means a migratory bird, it travels from one country to another country, and while traveling from one country to another country, it crosses other countries as well. So, altogether it may be traveling for more than 2 countries, covering more than 2 countries. So, whichever route they follow, that's a range of the migratory birds, wherever they are found, that's a range. So, this convention makes sure that the entire range is protected for their peaceful existence. So, it is an international treaty, as I already told you. It is under UNEP, that's a United Nations Environment Program. It is also called as Bonn Convention. Why? Because it was signed, this convention was signed in Germany. So, there's a city in Germany called as Bonn, B-O-N-N, Bonn. So, this was signed in Bonn, that is why it's called as Bonn Convention also. And I already told you the decision-making body or the organ is the COP, Conference of Parties. The Conference of Parties 13th one is hosted by India in Gujarat. Okay. And what is so unique about this international organization is that it is the only global conservation that is specializing on migratory species. We have many organizations protecting the animal species, the plant species, the avian species, or the marine species, but for protecting a migratory species and its range countries. This is the only global convention available, and it has many appendix. So the appendix 1 deal with the threatened species with extinction, and when appendix 2 comes, it's much less severe. That is how it is classified, and it is not legally binding always. Sometimes it's legally binding, for some species it's not legally binding. So it varies from legally binding treaties to the formal instruments. Okay, so we sign memorandum of understanding to protect species. So India has signed 4 memorandum of understanding. One is for Siberian crane, then is for marine turtles, then it is for dugong, then raptor. Okay, there are 4. The latest one is raptor. Then India is party to CMS since 1983. It is, so India is an active member. Okay, and India is an active member because India is a temporary home for many migratory species like the Amur falcons. You have heard about the falcon, Amur falcons, then the cranes, black-necked crane, marine turtles, dugongs, then the humpbacked whales. Okay, so India is on the Central Asian flyway of the migratory species. So India is a very good range country and has to be an active member. Okay. So that's it about CMS. You have to know what is CMS, under which organization it is. It is under UNEP, when it was formed, and what is the concerning area of CMS, what is the role of India, and what are all the conventions signed by India. Okay. Now coming to the next topic, that is Voter Verification and Information Program, that is the VVIP, C-Vigil app and the PWD mobile application. So it is in news because elections are approaching. Election Commission has launched this VVIP program for the citizens. That is why it is in news. And it helps the citizen. What they do primarily is that it helps the citizen to cross-check their names and whether they are in the voting list or they are in which what are things they have to add, and what the things related to new registrations, and if you have to change any older details, you can do that, and the application of voters identity card, corrections in voters identity cards for upcoming Lok Sabha election, everything related to the voters thing. Okay, that is the citizens need to be aware of the coming elections. So that is why the election commissions have started this program, VVIP program. And there is a helpline number, 1950 is a helpline number. You can contact that number, and if you doesn't have a voter's ID card, you can apply for a new one. If you have a correction in it, you can apply it, and that has been done in this helpline number. You can contact them, and it is done by very extensive training and all. It's very it is carried out in a holistic manner. So they have this contact centers all over India, and you can go to this contact center. They have the latest information and all the infrastructure to deal with the callers. Okay. And about C-Vigil app is, during an election you have a model code of conduct, that how you should behave, what all things you should not do, things like that, for even the nominees who are being enrolled for the election purpose. So they should follow some model code of conduct. If they violate their mode of conduct, the election commission should know about it. So what they do is, they started this Vigil app, and citizens, they can lodge a complaint if they see any violation of the model code of conduct. They can directly take a photo and they can send it in this app. So that is how the election commission will come to know what all things have been violated, what is happening in the society, in the political scenario. Okay, and the next thing is the PWD mobile application. It is a social thing, because the people with disabilities, they also need to register their voters ID, and they also need to vote for the election. So helping them out, the election commission has started this PWD application in order to help the persons with disabilities. So they can request for new registration, change in address, change in their particulars like name or the number or their income, everything they can change accordingly. And the booth level officer, you have a for election, you have many officers in concern. So you have to read that polity chapter of election commission, because you have many officers like the returning officer, the presiding officer, the booth level officer. You have to know all this functions. So returning officer is usually an IAS officer who is responsible for conducting the election. So there is a presiding officer who knows about all the voting stuff, and you have this booth level or officer who provide you with the doorstep facility. And even this PWD, it's not only about the registration and the online thing, they can also provide you with the wheelchair for going for voting. Okay, so all these things comes under the PWD mobile application. Okay, so these are the schemes, new schemes on the light of the coming elections. So please be sure that you make a note of it. Next is a map aided program. We have Nigeria. I'll tell you why Nigeria is in news, because the Nigerian president, that's a Muhammad Buhari, he said that they have a very peaceful talk with Boko Haram activists. This Boko Haram is it's a Islamist reformation organization. It started in 2002 in northern Nigeria, the northern part of the Nigeria. And what happened, they started as a Islamic reformist organization, but later on they turned very violent and they radicalized and they become militant organization, and they're very hard to contain, and the Nigerian government are constantly fighting to contain them, and at last now they have been doing some peaceful debates and they are being under control. So that is why it's in news. The Boko Haram is also in the other countries like Chad, Niger and Cameroon. So usually UPSC have a pattern of asking Boko Haram is connected to which country, or they'll ask any terrorist organization or a militant group, and they'll ask which country they belong to. So Boko Haram is in Nigeria. Okay, and I have a pic of Nigeria. See, Nigeria is 3 sides covered with land and 1 side with water, and it is a Gulf of Guinea, guys. It's a Gulf of Guinea, and the other 3 sides are like Chad, Niger, Cameroon, Benin. Okay, these are the neighbors of Nigeria, and it's a federal republic. It's in the West African region. It has Niger in the north, Chad in northeast, then it has Cameroon in the southeast, this side, the Benin in the west, and towards the south you have Gulf of Guinea into Atlantic Ocean. And Nigeria is known as the giant of Africa because it has huge population as well as the economy is large. So it's called as a giant of Africa. Which country is known as a giant of Africa? It is Nigeria. Okay. So this is the map aided program today. And moving to the next topic, that's a PQRS. I have a question here. The term 6th mass extinction is mentioned in the news. So which among this are the 6th mass extinctions? So I'll tell you. So 6th mass extinction is also called as Holocene extinction because it is mainly the Anthropocene extinction. That is, it is caused by the man-made things, the human activities, and it's the large extinction because it involves plants, animals, families, everyone is getting affected. It's widespread and it's very severe thing because it's a slow process, but the effect is very massive. It's also called as Holocene extinction. So that is this 6th mass extinction they are talking about. Now coming to the question, the options. It's a widespread monoculture practice of agriculture. The first sentence itself, no, it's not. Then the fear of possible meteorite, no, it's meteorites is already done with. And the large scale extinction because of the genetically modified crops, no, it's not. Again, it's because of the man-made things, but no, even genetically modified crops are a part of man-made things only, but there are other things as well. So see the fourth question, it's a man-made over-exploitation of natural resources or the misuse of natural resources, fragmentation, loss of natural habitat, then the destructured ecosystem and the pollution, the global climate change. That is the perfect answer. Okay, It is a man-made thing. It's because of the human activities this sixth mass extinction is gonna happen. That is the theory. Okay. So that's all for today. But don't forget to mention the report and indices of ILO in the comment section. And if you have any doubts, please feel free to ask it in the comment section. And that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much.